It's extremely important to learn some greetings when you're learning a foreign language, and it's the same in Japanese. They have a very strict culture of manners and respect, and one of those things that we need to be able to do is greet people correctly. The first greeting we'll look at today is the greeting for good morning. Most Japanese expressions have a plain form, which is the casual way you would speak to your friends, and a polite form, which is when you have to be polite to teachers, important people, and strangers. If you have studied the hiragana, you'll know that learning the hiragana will also ensure you have an excellent accent when speaking Japanese. The first word for good morning starts with o, ha, yo, u. And that's all you need to learn if you want to speak with your friends and say good morning to your friends. Ohayo. Sounds a little bit like an American state. Ohayo. Ohayo. To be polite, we add an ending, and the ending is go, za, I, ma, s. Gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. The Japanese expression for good morning. That is generally only used before 10 a.m. in the morning. They don't say ohayo gozaimasu after 10 a.m. because ohayo literally means early. So remember, ohayo gozaimasu is fine until about 10 a.m. in the morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. After 10 a.m., we use a common expression which you may have heard before, but let's get that accent correct. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Now that looks like a ha on our hiragana chart, but when it's after konnichi, we say wa, because it's actually indicating that it is today. Konnichi literally means this day. Konnichiwa, as far as this day is concerned. And we can say konnichiwa from about 10 until about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Konnichiwa, equivalent to our g'day. Once it gets after about 5 p.m, we would normally use konbanwa. Ban means evening. Once again, we have the wa on the end indicating a subject, not ha. So say it, konbanwa, konbanwa, good evening. Konbanwa. Before you go to bed, or just as somebody's about to go to bed, you would say oyasumi, which is simple, and you can say it to people who you don't have to be polite to, but the full expression is oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. Yasumi literally means to rest or even to take a holiday. O means we're being very polite. Oyasumi nasai. Please rest well. Oyasumi nasai. Good night. A very important expression is knowing how to say thank you. And in Japanese, just like in English, there's a lot of different ways of saying the expression. In English, we can say thanks, ta, thank you very much. Exactly the same in Japanese. The first part of it is domo. And you can get away with saying domo to mean thank you. The main meaning section of the word, like our thank you, is arigato. Arigato, meaning thank you. Domo arigato is also acceptable when saying thank you to somebody. And when you have to be very polite, we add gozaimasu. You might recognize that from good morning. Gozaimasu. It's the very polite ending we put on the end. Altogether, domo arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Before eating, the French would say bon appetit. We would say enjoy the meal. In Japanese, they say itadakimasu. 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 You're about to eat a meal. Itadakimasu. It literally means I accept this with thanks. And we use it like you would in French, bon appetit. Itadakimasu can also be said when you're receiving a present. And remember, Japanese people always give and receive presents with 2 hands. Itadakimasu. Itadakimasu. At the end of the meal, it's really important to show your appreciation. The meal was delicious, thank you very much. In Japanese is simply gochiso-sama. Gochiso-sama. And to be polite we add deshita, which actually is past tense as well. Gochiso-sama deshita. That was delicious. Thank you very much. Gochiso-sama deshita. Try saying that after you've had a Japanese meal in a restaurant and see if the Japanese chef or waitress responds. Gochiso-sama deshita. The meal was delicious. Thank you very much. A simple way of apologizing in Japanese is sumimasen. Sumimasen. It's a kind of excuse me, a gentle and soft apology. Sumimasen, if you're trying to get somebody's attention, if you're interrupting somebody. Sumimasen. Sumimasen. Excuse me. Sumimasen. If you want to ask how somebody is in terms of their health, we have an expression in Japanese which is o, very polite, o genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? Literally asking the question, are you well? The o means honourable because you're speaking to somebody you have to be polite to. The des is simply the verb is, am or are. Are you healthy? The ka on the end is a question, so you're actually asking a question. And genki is the adjective for healthy. O genki desu ka? Are you healthy? O genki desu ka? The easiest response to that is just take away the o and the ka and say genki desu. O genki desu ka? Genki desu.